Commission authority, shall promulgate such regulations as it deems necessary and appropriate concerning game or wildlife and hunting or fur taking in this Commonwealth, including regulations relating to the protection, preservation, and management of game or wildlife and game or wildlife habitat, permitting or prohibiting hunting or fur taking, the ways, manner, methods, and means of hunting or fur taking, and the health and safety of persons who hunt or take wildlife or may be in the vicinity of persons who hunt or take game or wildlife in this Commonwealth. So when you think about some of the things that we hear about why we shouldn't allow Sunday hunting, the fear of, somebody mentioned the horses and the dogs and the kids being hurt, that's all part of the Game Commission mission and their authority. So right now in Pennsylvania, obviously, we can hunt foxes and coyotes. We can also hunt crows because they are federally regulated. And we can do this thing called hunting on a non-commercial regulated hunting ground holding a valid permit, which I still think, Brian, we could turn state gate lands into that, and we should. So that's where we're at. So what does it mean? Well, the Game Commission has the authority to do everything it needs to manage wildlife. Everything it needs to do. They have the authority to do it. They already manage wildlife on Sundays in regards to foxes and coyotes. We hear people say, well, this is going to cost the Game Commission even more money, and they're already in trouble. Well, if I hear that, I ask this question. If the Game Commission isn't a 7-day operation, who's stopping me from hunting on Sundays? Who's enforcing the prohibition that we have today? So again, getting back to that long list of objections that we have to go into Sunday hunting, we can refute all of those. What I see is the lawmakers have really tied the PGC's hands with the section 2303 that prohibits hunting on Sundays. Essentially, if you read it, you read all that stuff, it says, Game Commission, you're to do this, but then don't do it. It just doesn't make any sense. And nothing's going to happen if our legislators do not change or eliminate it. I will tell everybody, reach out. Ask your personal representative their position. I know a lot of you probably already have, and I know some of you probably have representatives that aren't supportive of this. You may have senators that aren't supportive of this. Find out what their opponent's position is. They can either hear us or we can replace them. That's where I'm at.